Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Here we are on May the 2nd, and I have the privilege of being here with the amazing women from the anthology You Can, You Will. This book is out today in ebook, so make sure you watch your feeds and get over there and buy it. But today is all about talking about these authors. So first, I want to introduce the creator of the book You Can, You Will, Julianne Williams. Julianne, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Angela. And I am just extremely excited and pleased and honored this morning to introduce the book You Can Go. These women have been working so hard on a book that will change lives. So just to tell a little bit about the book. It is written for people who have been affected by mental health, grief, and difficulty. The women on this screen and others that can't be with us this morning have shared stories, some of them that have never been told before, to even the people closest to them. And they did this to help other people overcome all the hardships that we get. And so, the best part is they offer strategies so that you can take back from their story and improve your life. Some things that you will learn about are everyday stresses, losses of parents, spouses, and children, coping with loss as a healthcare provider, and persevering through relationships through mental health and abuse. And these are topics that affect all of us in one way or the other. And most importantly, what we want to do today is to continue to bang the gong for taking the stigma of grief, mental health from silence in this country and across the world to a loud conversation so that people can heal, get treatment, and lives can be saved. So I'm extremely, extremely honored today to be with this group of amazing authors. And I'll introduce my chapter, and then we are going to hear all of them. So my chapter is called Through the Darkest Days. And in my chapter, what I talk about is sometimes the darkest days are the everydays, because life can get very, very overwhelming at times to the point where it can knock you way down. So I have some strategies that I used on an everyday basis so that I could have a joyful life. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start going through the authors. Again, I'm so excited. So we'll start with Sue Bevan Daggett.
Thank you so much, Julianne. I'm also very excited and honored to be with this wonderful group of amazing women. In my chapter, which is called Breakthrough Limiting Beliefs to Access Your Power Within, I talk about a childhood where I was, challenged by having a bipolar mom and a father who wished for sons, but got daughters instead. And we had some rocky times that we worked through together as a family during a time where, as you said, Julia, mental health challenges just weren't talked about. And so, really had to hide a lot of the things that were happening, which was very challenging. But now I realize that by speaking out and talking about those challenges and encouraging others to address them when they come up in their family, that it will allow others to have, better success with overcoming those challenges, getting the help that they need to overcome those challenges, and find resilience. Reflecting back on it, while it was difficult at the time, I really believe that the work I did to overcome some of those challenges, eventually helped me to be stronger and more resilient. And also to take a lot of empathy out into the work that I do now. My mission is about empowering positive impact through innovation and connection. And, I hope this book will help others see, the power of connecting with the positive voices that can help uplift and support us, and learning to transform any negative voices into fuel to succeed. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Pat O'Sullivan.
Hi, good morning. I'm Kat, and collaborating with these talented and inspirational women has just been an incredible experience. And I'm so excited for you to read each story and discover how resilience in the face of life's challenges and opportunities can make all the difference. My chapter, Answering the Call, I share how embracing fear gave me the courage to turn the seemingly impossible into the possible over and over again. You know, God's ways are rarely ours, and often he has an uncanny sense of humor. Never in my wildest imagination did I anticipate how answering an unexpected call way back in 1988 would turn my call into my calling and my lifeline. It's a story about how Vanessa came into my life when the unthinkable happened. At just 5 years old, she was abandoned by her family after being diagnosed with a terminal brain tumor. The doctor's prognosis was just 3 months. Saying yes to becoming Vanessa's mom for whatever time she had left changed both our lives. She was an angel in our midst. And 26 years later, we had the privilege of ushering her back into the arms of God. I often wonder, what if I hadn't answered that call? I hope our story will inspire you to say a resounding yes to that thing that's been tugging at your heart, even if it feels impossible. As I've discovered, saying yes has the power to transform your life and the lives of everyone on your path.
Oh, Kat, thank you for sharing that. It's lovely and so inspiring. I can't wait for people to read your chapter. Rachel Rogers.
Hi, good morning from California. I just want to say congratulations to all of you. And we did it. We got our book launched, and I'm so excited. My chapter is called Delayed Grief, and my chapter is about losing my parents at a young age. And I lost my dad when I was 30 years old, and then I lost my mom when I was 43. And when I lost my father, I put that grief up on a shelf and thought, oh, I'll deal with it later. And I learned through my journey that it's much more healing and gives you more peace if you allow yourself to go through the stages of grief. And so when I lost my mom at 43, I decided that I was going to just go ahead and go through those stages and feel how it feels to go through the stages of grief, denial, depression. And I have to say, coming out the other side, I found myself healed, and felt that going through the stages was a better option. And so I am just a first time author, and I'm so excited, and just excited to spread our word. And just like everyone else is saying, I just hope it helps someone else along their journey. And just really, really pleased to be able to put this book out there. So thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your story. Crystal Neal.
Hi, everybody. I'm Crystal Neal, and I'm so honored to be a part of this project with these wonderful ladies. My chapter is titled Keep Moving Forward, and I go into detail about the loss of my daughter, Taylor. My oldest daughter died by suicide December 22nd, 21. It's the worst thing that could ever happen to me. It's my greatest fear. And it's still very new. So me and my family are still walking this difficult journey and still trying to recover. So I hope as you read it that you realize that you can go through your worst day ever and continue to keep moving forward. I know I've seen friends of mine lose a child and thought myself that I couldn't survive this. And every morning I wake up and I still think I'm not going to be able to survive this. But through God's grace, I continue to keep moving forward. And I'm so glad that this book is being released in May during Mental Health Awareness Month, because Taylor struggled for quite some time with her mental health. So I hope that we can help others and create more resources for those that are struggling. So I'm anxious to read everybody else's story, because this is just a wonderful group of women with some very powerful stories. I hope that you guys get your copy and you're as inspired as we all have been listening to each other. So thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. And with it being so fresh of losing your daughter, this has been, I know, quite an emotional experience for you. And all I can do is say thank you for sharing for other people, because the courage that you have brought in this process is just admirable. So thank you. Vera Milan Gervais.
Hi, everyone. So nice to see everybody's face up here today. My chapter in the book is called A Rose is Just a Rose. And it starts with a question my husband asked me on our 25th wedding anniversary. A question that led me to realize that I'd been hiding a part of who I was for over 30 years. And that led me to kind of dig deep to try and figure out why the past was holding me back, and to set out in this journey to separate what was truth from fear and fiction. It was hard. I admit that. I mean, I was hiding 30 years of my life. It was hard to dig deep, do that. But it took some years, and it freed me from those limiting beliefs that held me back from so long, and actually helped me find my voice. And I think that while the stories we share in this book are all very personal, they're all very universal. Our stories connect us. They tell us what we share in common, and watching one another heal, which is what we do when we share our stories, is part of how we help other people to see what's possible. To say it's okay to feel, it's okay to fight, it's okay to grieve, it's okay to let go, it's okay to move forward. And sometimes that's the hardest part, moving forward. And what I've seen with this group of women is there's some incredibly strong, resilient, and caring women on this journey. They've inspired me, and I know that their stories will inspire the rest of you to embrace your life and the possibilities in the future. So thank you.
Thank you, Vera. And, unpacking 30 years into the story and the advice that you are giving is priceless. So thank you so much for giving us that privilege. Monica Maroney.
Hi, good morning, everyone. First, I want to say thank you to all the other women in the book, and especially to Julianne for having this opportunity to participate in this project. My chapter is called Miracle Moments, and I feel that meeting Julianne and having this opportunity to be in the book is just one more miracle moment for me. And healing is an ongoing process, and I feel like writing my story and hearing all these other stories is bringing me to another level of healing for myself and for my family. And my chapter chronicles God's grace that held our family together through 40 years of marriage and some really, really dark chapters. And I see it as my journey of faith and forgiveness and conquering fear and despair. Life seldom goes the way we plan it to go. And sometimes heartache brings us to our knees. And I often would, challenge God, like, why is this happening to me? Why can't I have a normal marriage and a happy life? And I think the power comes when you can transform those things in your life and look at the hardships as not something that happens to you, but something that happens for you, and that you can find your strength, you can find your power in those darkest times and transform it into something that can help other people. And so I'm really excited about being a part of this project and the power that this book will have to help other people. Life is really unpredictable when you're codependent and you're surrounded by people that suffer from addictions and mental illness. And I learned a lot of behaviors growing up, and some of them served me well, and some of them I am now choosing to leave behind and live a different kind of life. And so part of my mission is to break the generational cycle that often people experience of codependency, addiction, and mental health. So I hope you find inspiration in my story and in all the other lovely stories that you're going to read in the book.
Monica, thank you. And tell Derek thank you. Because I know that, your story is his. He was kind enough to share that with us as well. So thank you both for letting your family be a healing for others. Helen Bukowitz, early in the morning for you. Helen, you're on mute still. Yes.
You're on mute.
Yes, delayed reaction. I'm so happy to be here and working with all you lovely women, and it's been a real incredible journey. And today is the day. Oh my goodness. And my story is about the power of words and how they can affect your life. And I got married at an early age, and I thought my life was turning around and I was finding my voice, and I was coming into my place. I had a lot of things going on with my church and in leadership. And then my marriage ended, and that just kind of spiraled me back down to the way I used to be with no voice. And the journey was long after that. And by God's grace, He taught me how to change my thinking and speak positive into the atmosphere. And I finally have my voice, and I'm excited about using that. And I'm finally believing I am where God has called me to be and what He has for me. And I'm just so excited to be on this journey with all of you.
Helen, thank you for being on early, and thank you for sharing your story. I have already learned so many pearls of wisdom from you. I know that other people will as well. Diane Timmering.
Hello, everyone, and happy Derby from Louisville, Kentucky. It's Derby week. It's crazy here. Lots of bourbon drinking already. Not me, not at 8 o'clock in the morning, of course. Again, so honored to be a part of this and all these beautiful women. And I think, Vera, you said it best. We are so universally connected. I'm so joyfully connected to each one of you. I'm in tears. I'm on the edge of my seat as you tell your story. So I cannot wait to dig in. My story is called Identity. It's about the loss of my identity when I left this big corporate job. I mean, I had no idea my 15-year healthcare executive role. I was so wrapped up in corporate identity, but I'm this fierce and gritty entrepreneur, and I could just feel the propulsion from God calling me from the corporate world and taking all this healthcare knowledge I had and taking it forth and, solving for other healthcare problems. I know the baby boomers are coming. I was looking at virtual care before even the COVID hit, even early telemedicine and remote patient monitoring. And I was ready to go. I was looking for new partners and, new business roadmaps. And suddenly just sort of just everything stopped. the way forward was suddenly very cloudy. I thought I could exchange one identity for another, and that was not the case at all. I could really feel God saying, where you're going, what's your direction, how to. It's like I had this big global vision, but the how to was very murky. And that drove this power of rage and unworthiness and just this deep, deep pain inside. And I think I don't know if it's Kat or Vera who said, or the rose. I love that. Who am I? What am I really on this earth to do? Where am I running to? Am I going the right way? So as God does, as you said, in this uncanny way, I found myself on the road to a Gethsemane. It sounds like a movie, an abbey in Nelson County, Kentucky, where I was able to meet with monk Paul Cunin, and he was reading an excerpt from a book he had just written, and it says, "In praise of the useless life." And I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, and this God power and aura just was rolling off of him, and I could just feel sort of this lift, this hearing again. And I think I was running so fast, so furiously, I had lost the power to heal. I wasn't going the way he wanted to go. I wasn't going in the direction. And that allowed me to start hearing again and to see. And my journey and the story is really about you can find your way. But I just encourage you to go his way. And man, there's on the back end of that, best partners, obtainable business plans, changing the world, which is, my mission. And I'm really delighted to be here with you all. And thank you so much. And God bless.
And thank you, because so many people experience transitions in life, and what you lay out and the way you describe it really helps to understand how you can take those steps to engage into your own world again, in a way that is positive, productive, and also honor the past. Thank you for that. Marcia Dunwood. Now, Marcia is my COO, just so you all know.
Well, I'm hoping you guys can all hear me okay. I'm in a hotel and the Wi-Fi is not cooperating. But anyway, I'm so happy to be here and to hear everybody's story. There's so much in the way of hardship that everybody goes through. And I feel like just sharing the stories and just talking about things can really be so helpful. And that's really what my chapter is about, which is don't leave the room early, balancing details and emotions to create your fairy tale. And in it, I talk about the communication breakdown between my first husband and I, and then how my current marriage, which is kind of like a fairy tale after quite a bit of work, ended up almost not happening because our relationship actually started with a lie. So it's been an interesting journey, but then that led me into thinking about, well, how should we be communicating with all of the people in our life? And unfortunately, my mom was diagnosed with ALS in 2016, and she passed in 2018. And it was really tough to communicate with her at the end because nobody really wanted to talk about what was happening. Everybody was walking on eggshells. And so it became really challenging to have a conversation, because what we would do is we would start to talk about the logistics around her care as opposed to actually what people were feeling about her illness. And that happened in my marriages too. So that's what my chapter is about. And I hope that by talking about things like this, more people will feel better and realize they're not alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcia. And just on behalf of all of the co-authors of this book, thank you for all the extra things that you did for us. You're really helpful in so many ways. And communication is part of how we learn about one another, how we connect. Your sharing is just incredible, and I am so appreciative that you decided to participate in this project. Annette Krushek.
Good morning, everybody. I am from the Midwest, Wisconsin, and I am echoing everybody else how very proud I am to be with this group of women as I sit here. part of me says this is the club I've always wanted to be in. And also it's the club I never expected to be in, because I too am a mother who lost a child. I am a mother of 8, and February 25th, 2021, I tragically lost my 4-year-old daughter. I have 8 children, 3 of which have congenital heart defects. And through this journey, our daughter, Evelyn, the youngest of my crew, when she passed away, I have learned so much. And my chapter is called My Tiny Teacher, in honor of Evelyn, because it's through her short time on earth, she ended up rallying people around her. She came home from China, and I called her the underdog, the outcast. And through her story, it's as if I felt like an underdog and an outcast at times in middle school, being chosen last, not being in the group with certain people. I identified with my daughter. Never did I know that my 4-year-old daughter would be teaching me valuable lessons about life. And so I have been committed since the day of her funeral. I promised her privately while sitting in the church at her funeral that I would not let her death define my life. And I would share with the world how grief, while it's absolutely horrible and heart-wrenching, God puts us in these situations, and I call it brokenly beautiful, because he's teaching us something out of this. And one day I will find out. But I lost both of my parents. I lost my brother, and all of this had happened within 10 years. So I don't like being an expert on grief, but I feel it is my job and duty to share this with the world, because hurt comes in so many forms. And with having 8 children and a husband of 25 years, I am really hoping that my story can be an inspiration to those who are struggling, maybe in their marriage or in problems with their children, and opening up to their children about grief. So again, I think this book is wonderful. I'm so proud. I would be buying so many of these books for people if I wasn't even the author, part of the authors. So thank you very much for listening, and I'm looking forward to see where this book takes us.
Thank you. And Annette and I have a really strange connection, that I had a congenital heart defect very similar to her children. And so we've been able to really talk about our perspectives around that. It's been a godsend for me, for sure.
Definitely.
Jennifer Seitz?
Hi, good morning. I'm delighted to be here this morning with everybody. This anthology has been an incredible experience for me, meeting these 18 wise women and really getting to know them, and sharing their stories of courage and hope has been such an inspiration for me. So I know everybody out there is going to love reading their chapters and absorbing all the wisdom that they have to give. Now, my chapter is a little different. I have been a registered nurse now for over 30 years, and I am deeply, deeply concerned about the healthcare crisis we're facing at the moment. So my chapter is titled Tribe of Angels, Lessons Learned on Resilience from Nurses During the COVID Pandemic. And this chapter really focuses in on ways to become resilient. And this is not just for nurses, but for all of us facing challenges, the challenges you just heard this morning. We need resilience. We need to have the strength to go through a hard time. The good news is that resilience can be learned. And again, this is the most amazing information that came out of the book or the chapter, and my study over the last 2 years of nurses who have been working in these very, very difficult situations. The takeaways from my chapter include the following: resilience is better learned together. and this is the case time and time again. Resilience grows when a decision is made and action follows that decision. This is also extremely important. Having a purpose in life does help build resilience. Resilience grows when there are clear boundaries in place. Resilience is reflected in behavior, and you can see this time and time again. Building resilience is a process that requires change, and change is not easy for anyone, but this does require change. Very, very important. And talking and hearing the ladies this morning, talking with the ladies over the last couple of weeks, resilience is watered by spirituality. This is a component of resilience. And lastly, resilience involves the whole person. So I'm just inviting anybody out there who is listening to us this morning, please come on this journey with us. We have had such a wonderful time together, the 18 of us. Thank you to Julianne, because you truly are our inspiration. And come and join us. We have lots to share with you. So thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you. And Jennifer is our angel. She has been the most loving and encouraging of our teammates as we put this book together. She's never short on telling you something that you just needed to hear today so that your day is better, and just showing you what love looked like. So, and thank you for all your years. Being a nurse is hard work. And I know people don't say thank you a lot.
Thank you so much, Julianne. Thanks.
And then we have another nurse, and I get to thank her too at the end, Cheryl Field.
Moment.
We're having there. Okay.
You hear me? Okay.
We're having a little you there. Okay, talk about I think maybe.
Okay, sorry. Of course, for the
Cheryl, you break up, and unfortunately we hear about every 10th word.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Whenever you did write that worked.
Okay. Sorry, Wi-Fi maybe not so good. I'm also a nurse. I shared a chapter on a lifelong struggle that I've had in my world around struggling with obesity. Some of the parts inside that perpetuate behaviors you just don't necessarily want to perpetuate and predominate in your life. The opportunity to write to these women, have the courage to face some of our internal parts was something I wouldn't have envisioned myself doing. And like others you've heard, the reason that we become vulnerable and put it out there is to empower others to see themselves, to see their vulnerability in our story, and to see their outcome, the similar outcome that we may have had in our own story. So I'm encouraging you to have this moment, share your story with someone you know who needs this. There's so many different experiences that we've all had, and I think that so by coming together and sharing our story, you take a different approach than the book, my systems approach, where to self-trauma, and by beginning to heal those, live more in self, be more the woman. Others will take a resilience approach, faith-based approach. There's so many paradigms in this book. I think it represents something for everyone in a universal way. I'm so honored to have been part of it. Julianne, thank you for inviting me. All of my co-authors. So thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. And again, I've known Cheryl. She is one of the most loving and caring nurses. Actually, I think most are, but very special and so dedicated to making lives of the elderly and ill better each and every day, and has devoted her career that which is how I met her. And I'm so grateful that you decided to write this book. I know that it was a big step of courage for you. And I could not be just more proud to be a co-author with you. I think we have had all of our ladies speak. So Sue is back with us. I just want to close, and first of all, the admiration I have for the women who have come together for this book is unending. You can hear it just by the stories you've all lived through and the way that you communicate them. I'm feeling, and just the love that you've had for one another through this process has been absolutely just such an experience for me. I just thank all of you for making this a book that will help so many that have gone through so much. And so with that, I would ask everyone to please buy our book. It is an ebook on Kindle starting today for 99 cents. And yes, you can buy it for yourself and you could gift it to others. And then we'll be back on May 16th and releasing our paperback, You Can, You Will. And we'll get to talk a little bit on that live stream about what the last 2 weeks had looked like and what's it like to be a published author for those of us who it's our first time putting things out to the universe, and to learn a little bit about the feedback that we're getting on our stories. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, ladies. I love each and every one of you. So thank you.
Thank you.